guys, and welcome back to my nail room. As I film this video, it is April here in Ontario, and we are still in lockdown in the midst of a third wave of COVID-19 that is, if I may be honest, ripping our healthcare system a new one. So because of that, a lot tougher restrictions have been put in place here, and a lot of stuff is closed, including nail salons and spas. So I thought now might be a good time to do a quick video for you guys to show you a neat little technique, which I call dry water marbling, but it's not exactly dry. Anyway, it's a water marbling technique that you can use to do a really cool, quick little nail art on your nail if you're not able to get into a salon and go for a manicure where someone else might be able to dress your nails up for you. So what you can do if you're not familiar with water marbling, there are tons of videos on YouTube, though. You can feel free to look it up. You'll see all kinds of instructional videos. You can end up with a technique that will give you these kinds of effects, these sort of swirly, squiggled, let's have a look at that one there, that's a pretty good one, those kind of effects. Water marbling is done by dropping your nail polish onto water, allowing it to spread out, making a design, and then usually what you do is you take a nail or maybe even two nails and you kind of push your nails into the water, and that's how you transfer the design onto your nails. But what I have found is that that is really messy and not exactly fail-proof. There's a lot of cleanup you have to do afterwards with nail polish getting down into your cuticle and all over your finger, and it can just end up really being a mess. The other thing is it's hard to necessarily know what part of the design you're picking up on your nails. You have to kind of eyeball it, and So this technique that I'm going to show you is how I've been doing it for years. It's a lot easier to work with. It takes a little bit more time because you do have to wait for the polish to dry, but I'm going to show you a way to do this that involves very little mess, a little more time, and hopefully I will also be able to share with you some techniques for water marbling that will help take some of the mystery out of it, because the first few times I did it, I just made an unholy mess. So I've learned a lot about water marbling over the years and how to get it to work. And I'll share some of those tips and tricks with you now. So what are you going to need? Well, first of all, you're going to need a container with some water in it. Now, as you can see, this is very well loved little ramekin, glass ramekin that I use for water marbling. Don't expect to use whatever container you use for this water marbling for anything else. Just either discard it or keep it as your designated water marbling container. This one is full of distilled water. So don't ask me why distilled water is what works best for this, but in my case, with the water coming out of my tap, distilled is absolutely the best water. I just can't seem to get it to work with my tap water. I guess it's got something to do with mineral content or whatever. In any event, you're also going to need some kind of a tool for making your little drag design. So this is like a dotting tool, but it's a really tiny one. You can hardly see, there's like hardly any dot on the end there at all, just to drag through the polish and create the swirls. You're going to also need a lint-free or a piece of paper towel to wipe off after you do each drag, so that you don't get your tool stuck and rip your polish in a way that you don't really want to. You will need some acetone and a cleanup brush or a cotton swab that you can do any kind of little bit of cleanup at the end. Scissors. You'll need a paper towel to wipe off on. You're going to also maybe need a pair of tweezers, if you have them, to help lift the water marble decal that we're going to make out of the water when we're done, and of course nail polish. Now, not all polishes marble well. You, for example, cannot use glitter nail polish. Glitter nail polish does not work. Metallic nail polishes, however, do tend to work for water marbling to a varying degree. You don't want any polish that is like quick drying, because your polished surface will start drying before you have a chance to make your design, and it'll just end up frustrating you. Okay, so some polish brands that I have consistently good luck using for water marbling are the Sally Hansen Extreme Wear bottles. The great thing about these is that they are readily available at like every drugstore, and they're very inexpensive as far as polishes go. Another really good brand is Color Club. Now they're not as common in drugstores. I think maybe Walmart might carry these, or some of the larger Walmarts might carry these. You can also find kits of these from time to time at Winners. So when Winners opens back up, I'm going to assume they're not open right now. These tend to water marble really well. And you can use as few or as many colors as you like. I think today we're going to try and do kind of a rainbow effect water marble using some really bright colors. And I think that's everything we need. So let's get started. Okay guys, so I did change my mind. I was going to use those really bright neon colors, and I just thought because I have these sort of teal colors on my nails already, I wanted to stick with that because I do want to leave these on a little bit longer if I can. Just feeling the teal vibe, I guess. So what I did was I grabbed 3 different colors from Color Club. So we have, this one here is called Astronauty. This one here is called Montego Bay. And this one here is Teal for 2. Okay, so 3 different progressively darker shades of teal greeny blue. What I've done, I gave them a good shake before I started filming to make sure everything was incorporated. And what you want to do, the key with water marbling, is to work quickly. So you're going to want to have all your materials ready. So I've got my little, my tool that I'm going to use to do my drag design here. I have a lint-free cloth, which I'm going to use to wipe off the tip of the tool after each time that I drag. I've got my distilled water in my bowl here. I got a pair of tweezers, which we'll be needing later, not right away. And I've got some acetone here up at the top, and a little cleanup brush for later on as well. And lastly, but not least, I've got a piece of paper towel here. So let's get started with our water marble. So first thing you want to do is, like I said, you want to work quickly. So I've got all my bottles open close to my jar or my bowl of water. You don't want to go too big on your water bowl. You don't need, you know, the bigger the bowl is not necessarily a good thing. It might spread out too much and it might get too thin and dry too quickly. So you have to just kind of find the sweet spot for you as far as how quickly you can work and the polishes you're using. This one has always sort of worked great for me. Like I said, make sure your polishes are well combined and that the caps are loose. The other thing you don't want to do is you don't want to, and I'm just going to use this bottle for example, you don't want to hold your polish way up high and drop your polish down into the water, because in all honesty, that little bit of air on the droplet of nail polish can be enough to start it drying before it gets down to your water, and it won't spread. It'll just kind of sink like a lump into the bottom. I've had that happen before too. So anyways, without further ado, let's water marble. Now, I'm gonna do quick droplets of each color. We're going for sort of a bullseye design in the middle here, starting with our lightest color. Okay, I'm just gonna give a little run around here, make sure it covers the surface of the water as much as possible. And at first, when you're doing this, you may find you're not seeing the bullseye effect real clear right away. Depends, I guess, how close in tone your colors are. Just give a little shake. Ugh. Might need a little bit of polish thinner in that bottle. You want to have enough polish on the tip of your brush to get that cool bullseye effect and without making an excess drip. Okay, that's good. I'm not gonna mess around with it too much more. Now I'm gonna start a few rows in from the outside because some of that outside polish is probably starting to dry, and I'm gonna drag into the center and I'm gonna push down. Moving over, drag in, push down, and I'm always wiping my tool after each drag. Drag in, push down, drag in and push down, and you're just going to continue doing this. All around. There. That is a beautiful looking water marble. Well, maybe one more over here. This is the temptation with water marble, is that it is awfully fun to play with. and you don't want to overdo it. Anyway, I've fiddled around with it enough. I'm not going to do any more. I'm going to leave it. And this is the point in the game where, yes, we are just going to walk away for about 30 to 40 minutes and let that dry. What we're going to do, we're sort of hoping to turn this into a decal that can be placed on your nail, which I have painted with one coat of this lightest blue that I was using for my water marble. So you can do all kinds of designs too when you drop your polish in. You don't have to do this sort of bullseye floral design like I just did. You can kind of drag left, drag right, you know, wiping your tool after every time you drag so that you don't catch the polish and snag it and get it all clumped up on you. But anyways, we're going to walk away, we're going to leave this, and then when we come back, I'm going to show you how to get this out of here and onto here. Okay, so it has been a good 30-40 minutes, and as you can see from sort of the little wrinkles that we see over on this side, it is drying up quite nicely. So I think now we are ready to transfer it out of the water, and what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put it on a piece of paper towel. So I've got my acetone here, that's for cleanup later. First thing you're going to want to do is use your tool if you can see any spots where it's, stuck on the edges, there we go, to just very gently loosen the edge so that when you take it out of the water, you do not tear your design that you've worked so hard for. So having done that, I'm going to use a pair of tweezers, and I'm just going to very carefully go in, grab, there we go. That was a close one. Just about blew it there. It just shows you how fast you have to work. You really just kind of drag it out of the water and you put it right on, your paper towel to get the excess water off the bottom. Whew, I thought I'd lost it there. Okay, anyways, setting my water aside. Here is sort of where the next phase of getting your design off of your paper towel and onto your nails comes in. So what you want to do is you're going to want to paint your nail that you want to put it on with a little bit of top coat, just something clear over your base color. And we're just going to let that go for a few minutes until it gets like fingertip tacky, so that you can still feel that it's sticky, but it's not going to slide around on your nails. So in the interim, what you want to do is you want to take a look at your design and you want to sort of eyeball which sections you think you'd like to have on your nails. With the good marbles like this, I find you can get probably 4 decent decals out of one water marble. And the secret that I like to use is what I'm doing here. I'm just leaving it on the paper towel as I cut. It just gives it, there we go. So there's into half. Set that one aside there. So for this purpose of this tutorial, I'm just going to move my excess pieces out of the way here. I'm looking at this section of the design kind of in here. That's what I want to appear on my nails. Now, my coat, clear coat that I put on just a few seconds ago is perfectly tacky. So at this point, we're going to take it off of our paper towel, and you're just going to kind of look at where you'd like it to be on your nail. Drag it into position. There we go. And then very carefully, you're going to press down. Okay, just going to use my cleanup brush, which doesn't have any acetone on it at the moment, to just kind of smooth it, press that polish into the surface of my nail. And you can see the polish is pretty brittle already. It's breaking off, and that's good. You kind of want it to do that. It's going to remove some of that excess stuff there. This is where, if you have a set of little cuticle scissors, if you're really feeling fancy, you can trim along the edge of your nail, but I find it's just a little bit easier if you just take a little bit of acetone and a cleanup brush, little paintbrush, cheapy paintbrush from the dollar store, and just kind of go, I'm trying to do this so you can see it, along the edge of your nail. It just kind of seals the polish on to the nail. Now continuing with a little bit more acetone is now where we're going to sort of make the magic happen, and we're going to clean this up. You can take your tweezers if you find you've got a lot at the bottom here, and kind of pull some off, or at least just break the seal between your cuticle, and there we go. There we are. So then you don't have much cleanup to do whatsoever. So again, with a little bit of acetone, not a lot, and we're just going to go around the bottom of our nail here, sealing it onto our natural nail. All right, there we go. And you can see that what you end up with is pretty neat looking. So at this point, what you are going to want to do is you're going to want to seal this with some more top coat. So I will do that now. And this is Beauty Secrets top coat. I believe I got this at Sally Beauty, but any top coat that's your favorite will be fine. There you go. Set that aside. And you can see you have a really neat, oops, sorry, I'm having trouble with my camera. You have a really neat design, and you still have lots of pieces of your decal left over here to make other pieces for your other nails. So rather than doing it traditionally where you would put the design on your water and then plunge your fingernails into the water like this and then have to clean up all the excess mess and grossness, I just find this is a much easier way of doing this, and it gives you good value out of your polish, because water marbling does tend to eat the nail polish up a little bit, but this, as you can see, gives you lots of opportunities to make more than one treatment for your nails. So anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Try it. I hope you can find that these little tips and tricks that I've given you will help you make it work, and let me know in the comments below the video if it does. Thanks very much, guys, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye now.